guys, how are you all? Hope so you all are doing well. Okay, so let's start the story. Without any further conversation, the voiceover is too long today. Hmm. Well, it's finished. It's finished before 2:10. Okay, the whole house is filled with the joy and happiness. Everyone is so busy in their works as today the son of the Park mentioned. Park Jimin is going to. Mrs. Park called Jimin. Where is he? Everyone is waiting for him. Tiang, I don't know, Auntie. I tried to contact with him, but I can't. Mrs. Park, no. Jimin, no, Jimin, do right now. She said, and turned. She could speak something. She stopped on her place when she see Jimin stand there holding a Mrs. Park sit young and look at Jimin. Others also look. Mrs. Park Jimin. He's Jimin mom. He could speak his father. Come, Mr. Park. He is your. He asked Jimin. He is my dad, but he could speak his dad. Him. Jimin eyes widen and the in his hand. Jimin look at his father with his widened eyes. Mr. Park, on yourself. You are, and today you hold your in. He sat in and fell from Jimin. Asked Jimin, Dad, he could speak his dad again. Him. Mrs. Park stand there seeing everything, while Mr. Park, you might Park Jimin. He said, and Jimin looking down. Mr. Park, they with you take this with you and from here, he said. And Jim look at his dad with eyes, and Mr. Park eyes widen. Mrs. Park, no, listen him once. He's saying something. She tried to stop him, but Jimin looked at Taeyang, who went toward him. Taeyang, let's go, Jimin. Jimin, Taeyang. Taeyang, I am here to listen you, bestie. Let's go. He said softly and take him. 5 years later, the whole classroom is filled with the hustle bustle as the students is talking, playing, and everything. Well, this is a university where you can said mostly the kids come and some got the ants come here. Here you can find the most innocent person and the one also. The university is famous by its and everything is perfect here. The bell rings, but the students continue to talk with each other and laughing until a person enters in the room. He a gray color suit looking, so he look around the classroom and see the students is still not just him. He picked the register and is filled with the silence as everyone sits straightly on to see him. He looked at everyone in the classroom and he started to move back and forth while talking. Hello students, my name is Park Jimin. I am your new chemistry professor. Hope so you guys cooperate with me. If you do, I also do. I am expecting the from you all, okay? He said, not in so, but his voice held. He looked at the students and nodded. Jimin saw we start. He stopped when the classroom door opened. Jimin had to see the person. His expression is just like a, of course, the way it's telling him he is from the person. He looked up and see Jimin. He freezed on his place. He feel he feel like he how cute he is. His chubby cheeks and the glass on his eyes. Jimin he and the person come in the reality. Jimin, may I know who are you? Hey, I am Min Yoongi, Jimin's student. Yoongi, of course, he said and smiled. Jimin, if you come again late, you will not sit in my class. Jimin said and turned. He started writing something on the whiteboard. Yoongi, by the way, your name. Jimin stopped the marker. He turned and see him. Jimin, you are late. I already give my introduction. Yoongi, no problem. I ask from others, okay? Who's he? Who's he? Everyone, he is our new Professor Park. Jimin, they all speak, and Jimin look at them, and Yoongi, who's to see him? Jimin, silence. Note down what I am writing. I don't repeat again, he said, and Yoongi go. He sit on his seat, and he to Jimin, who's busy to write on the board. After 30 minutes, he stop and start to explain the things. He's so busy in his work, he don't notice Yoongi. Jimin, anything you want to ask? Yoongi, me. Jimin look at him and wait for him to speak. Yoongi, why you were so cute, he said, and Jimin give Jimin one more thing, class. I don't any kind of joke, kidding, and something like this with me. In my lecture, only you do studies, nothing else. Something with him he don't even. He said take his mobile and go without looking at Yoongi. The bell ring. Yoongi, huh? Why you are, huh? How can you like this? It's just you see him. He think and take his bag. He go from there. Jimin enter in the house. A small smile appear on his face when he see a little girl is playing with Taeyang. Jimin, Emil, he called her. She turned and see Jimmy with his sparkle eyes. Emil. She ran toward him and Jimin her in his hand on her forehead. Emil, how did she have with the young uncle? Emil, yes, I do so much fun with Tete uncle. I play a lot. Jimin chuckled. Jimin, that's good. Will you bring my chocolate? Jimin, yes, I do. He said and leave her. Then he take out the chocolate from his bag and give to Emil, who take and run. Jimin sit on the couch. Jimin, thank you so much, Tang. From tomorrow she goes school and then I her. Tang, no, Jimin. Emil is my also. Jimin smiled. Jimin, how's Jungkook? Jiang, he is fine. I should leave now. I make dinner for you and Emil. Jimin, alright. I don't say thanks. Jiang chuckle. Jiang, I know. Take care of yourself and Emil. Jimin, I will. Jiang said bye and he go. Jimin sign. He see Emil who is eating chocolate. He smiled to see her. Now Jimin world just depend on. Well, if Emily is happy, then Jimin is happy. It's been a 5 years now, and Jimin learned to live, maybe or maybe not. Jimin sit in his room. He just do the dinner and make Emil fall in sleep. He sit on the bed and looking out from the window fell from his eyes one by one. He sighed and wiped them. He always become whenever he sit at this time. He also wants someone's shoulder to on, but he don't have a Jimin in mind. I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone whose shoulder. Why it happens with me? Jack said to me, but no, he don't. Jimmy. He think he stop as I can't even think Jimin in mind. How can I tell them? Emily is not. I was passing from the when I see and I take her at home, but they think I he continued to Jimin in mind. Hope so. I also got home me. I don't huh? He is thinking how he is when his phone ring. He see the caller ID, its number. Jimin think who's calling him and the person again and again calling him. Jimin attend the call. Jimin hello. No one speak. Jimin see the caller ID. He again speak. Jimin hello. Who's here? He asked and no response. Jimin cut the call. Jimin saw and then a message popped on the screen. Good night and remember someone is here. Jimin read the messages. Jimin someone? He whispered who's the person him Jimin on the bed and with the blanket he started to think about the person and soon he fell in sleep. Next day Jimin enter in the class. He see no one is here. Expect YoOngI. Jimin YoOngI. Hey sir, see I come as you told me. Jimin see the time. Here is 15 minutes ago. He is here 15 minutes ago. Jimin still 15 minutes left for class. YoOngI, I know, but I don't want to late so you again. It's give me peace here. He point on his when you me, but I don't want to make a he said, and Jimin see him with different. He don't know he become mad him or he don't. Jimin signed to see him and start to see the knots. YoOngI come and stand in front of him. Jimin look up and see him. YoOngI is one Jimin sir. Shorty, he said and start laughing. Jimin you he don't know what he said here. YoOngI okay sir. Jimin could speak. He sees students start to come. Jimin could speak. He sees students start to come. Jimin go and sit on your seat. He said and YoOngI nodded. YoOngI all right. Jimin come in his cabin. He stop on his place when he see so many chocolates. He become confused. Who sent him? But then he think Taeyang maybe sent for him as Taeyang used to do. He sit on the chair and start to eat the chocolates when the door open. Jimin see him. Jimin you? YoOngI sir? I don't understand today's topic. Jimin mind how can you understand when you continue to Jimin and why YoOngI don't know maybe my it was so fast I was trying to Jimin and why would you is so fast YoOngI huh how can I tell you sir I see something so beautiful he said and Jimin and what you see YoOngI huh sir I saw a beautiful person huh sir how can I tell you he's so beautiful you know he's so cute but the thing is this he don't look at me but I know he do soon Jimin just listening him Jimin done now we talk about the topic YoOngI you talking I am saying I mean listening Jimin sign and he start to explain him again and YoOngI take the chocolate from the table and start to eat while listening him. Jimin stays silent. He don't say anything. Jimin, anything else you want to know? YoOngI, your favorite color? Jimin, Mr. Min, I am your professor. YoOngI, I don't ask you or not. It's just a color. So tell me. Jimin, see him. He don't know what he said. Why he always forget to speak. Whenever YoOngI come in front of him, Jimin purple. Why YoOngI my is black by the way. Thanks for chocolate, he said and take his book and go. He is outside the university. In the university, he booked the cab, but due to the cab, and now he is thinking how he go home when someone stop car in front of him and Jim and come out from the car. Jimin see Yoongi. Yoongi, wow, sir, enjoying the weather. Jimin, what you are doing here? Yoongi, I see you stand here, so I thought to give you company. Jimin, Yoongi, be serious. Yoongi, fine. I am passing from here and I see you. Stand. Is everything okay, Yoongi? Yeah. Jimin, yeah, everything is okay. You go home. Yoongi, I think the come starts. Sir, come, I drop you at your home. Jimin, no way, I go by myself. The time to do so, please listen me. Jimin, I said no means no. He said, and Yoongi see him. Yoongi, sir, the rain starts soon. Jimin, don't listen him. He start to walk. Yoongi, fine, let's do a walk. Jimin, go home. Jimin, Yoongi, sorry, sir, but I can't. You in this weather. Jimin, stop. Jimin, why? Yoongi, you are my professor and someone. So he last word. Jimin, fine, but my address. He said, then sit in the car. Yoongi, seriously? Seeing my face, how can he think I do this? He think and go in the car. He silently started to drive the car. Jimin tell him the address. No one speak. Jimin is really impressed as Yoongi really himself, and then he stopped the car in front of his house. Yoongi, here is your destination, sir. Jimin, thank you. Yoongi, oh, no need, sir. He said being extremely happy. Jimin seeing him and smiled softly. Yoongi, sir, it's here. Jimin, what? Yoongi, your smile. He said, and Jimin seeing him with done face, and Yoongi stopped doing drama and he smiled. And then Jimin heard Jimin, oh no, bye. He said and come out from the car. Yoongi also do just to make sure Jimin enter in the house. Jimin opened the door and she welcomed Baya from the Emil. Yoongi see Emil. Jimin, Emil, see, I am here. He bent down. Yoongi. He whispered and take a step toward them. Emil is so finally come. Jimin, please. Jimin back and see her with a smile, and she nodded. Emil, my chocolate. Jimin, sorry, I forget to bring Yoongi, sir. Jimin, stop. He turned and see he Emil in his. Jimin, you are still here. Yoongi, yeah, sorry for you, but you forget this. I think it's her. He said and give chocolate to Emil. Jimin, but Yoongi, I go now, sir. You are so beautiful, he said and smiled to see Emil. Yoongi, bye bye, he said, and Jimin can see Yoongi eyes. Jimin, let's go, Emil, he said, and go in the room. Yoongi sit on the car and she go from there. After Emil sleep, Jimin sit in his room. He think about the Yoongi. When his phone ring, it's same number. He attend the call. Jimin, hello. He speak but no response. Jimin, hello. Again no response. He cut the call and place the phone on the side. His phone again vibrate. He see the message from the same number. He read. If the ending next to you, Jimin read and freeze on his place to read. Jimin, who's he? He whispered, but he placed his phone on the side and started to think about Chungi and closed his eyes and soon fell in sleep. Jungi on the bed, he placed his phone on the side. When he see Jimin the text, he sighed and think about him. Okay, Yoongi is the one who call him and text him. The room door open. Mrs. Min enter in the room. She smiled to see her and sit on the edge of the bed. Mrs. Min smiled to see him and he placed his head in a Mrs. Min. So what happens today? Yoongi, nothing ma. Today is also same. It's not so easy to him. And you know what he have a Mrs. Min, he is Yoongi. Yoongi, I don't know ma. Mrs. Min, now what you do, Yoongi, I do. Wait, so he tell me the reality. Mrs. Min, if he's Yoongi, then he chuckles. Yoongi, then nothing. I take my steps back as his happiness is my happiness, he said, and Mrs. Min felt. Mrs. Min knew him that much younger. I him more than anything. The day I saw him, I feel like my own him. Mrs. Min hopes so everything become alright. Yoongi smiled to see his mom. Yoongi, nothing happens, huh? He closed his eyes and his mom go. His son fell in sleep. Hmm. So I still have so much work to do. Next day, Jimin turned with she is so happy to go school. Jimin, now wait a minute. Okay, let me. Also, Emil, can I tell you what you today? Jimin, sure. He smiled and Jimin see her Jamil, Emil, and then she started to find a good for him. She take out a black dress. Emil, you this. Jimin, remember what Jungi said. My favorite color is black. Jimin, can't I something else? Emil, no, please, please, pretty, please. She said, and Jimin sighed. Jimin, okay, just for you, okay? He is trying to convince himself, and she nodded. She sit on the couch, and Jimin go for. He come out, alright, Jimin, as usual. She said, and Jimin chuckled. Jimin, thank you, Emil, no. He said, and they both go downstairs. Jimin drop Emil in, and he go university by himself. Jimin enter in. Jimin enter in the classroom as usual early. He see the on the table and see no one is here. He and smile. It's been a long time. He like this. Jungi enter in the classroom. Yoongi, here we go. Jimin, for Yoongi, sometimes be serious. Yoongi, sorry, sir, but I am so happy to know it's your favorite. Jimin, you kept this here. Yoongi, yeah, I do, Jimin. And why, Yoongi? Because you my favorite color. See, I also do. He said, and Jimin, see, as Yoongi purple. Jimin, remember when he's with Jack? He said to him to, but he said. No, he said it's odd. He see Yoongi who stand in front of him. There's a big difference between them. Stand in front of him so happily. Jimin plays the in his bag and start to teach. As the students come, his mind is on Yoongi again. Turn and see Yoongi is him. It's been a whole month. A whole month. Sometimes Jimin received chocolates and the text. Mostly the text start to give to Jimin right now. Also, Jimin don't know, but he start to feel happy. Jimin, it's so much happiness. He really can or not. If the happiness go from him, he is thinking when the door opened. Jungi sir, see, I bring lunch for us. Don't said no, please. He placed the lunch on the table and started to open the boxes. Jimin, we need to talk. Jungi, it's serious. Jungi, I'm listening. Jimin, why you are doing all this, taking care of me, trying to me, Jungi. This is really serious. So simple. I don't make you confused. The simple thing is when I start to you and Jimin you me. You see my on that day, Jungi. I do. So I just thought to ask. You are well. He could speak. Jimin speak. Jimin, I am not. Yoongi stop on his place. Jimin tell him how he meet with Emil and what happened with him. In the he don't know why, but he tell him. Yoongi, oh, now I understand. It's mean I am Emil. Jimin, what? Yoongi, you are Emil. I am, of course, after she with us, right? Jimin, you still want? Yoongi, if you someone, if you are, I still. Jimin, he said, and Jimin is with Jimin. I can't accept Yoongi. I am sorry. Huh, Yoongi. I keep trying till you not do the lunch, okay? He said and go from there, leave the lunch. Jimin sign. It's not easy to him. Yoongi, come downstairs. Come downstairs. Yoongi, come downstairs. It's Sunday. The doorbell is ringing again and again. Jimin open the door. His eyes widened to see Yoongi. Jimin, you? Yoongi, take a side. He said and enter in the house. Jimin closed the door and come in the living room and see Yoongi. Yoongi, Emil. Jimin see him. Emil look up and see Yoongi. Yoongi, oh Emil, you so much. He said while Jimin eyes widen. Emil, who are you? Yoongi, you want to know who I am? Emil nodded. He sit on the ground with the Emil. I am your. I go to do some work and now I come back. I never go anywhere. I stay with you. Huh, Emil? What you are my Jimin? Yes, see our eye. Yoongi, yes, see our eyes is same. She nodded and Emil, wow, I also have my all friends have. I am so happy. She become happy and Yoongi who her. Yoongi with so much. Emil, me too. You don't go right, Yoongi? No, I don't go anywhere. I stay with you. She become happy. Jimin, go and bring my phone from room, Emil. He said and Emil nodded. She run upstairs. Jimin, may I know what is this? Yoongi, stand up. Yoongi, you tell me yesterday everything yesterday. Jimin, but you don't listen me. I know you don't tell you. I don't tell you. I know I don't tell you. But I also know you don't listen me. On that time, Emil is the accept Emil with all the. From now on, she's my I am. His you are about the people. The people. This who cares about them? I only I only have my I tell her. As she's so happy she want to meet Emil. She said she want to meet her. I am ready to hold your hand for I give you the happiness you for. Jimin heard everything. His words is so Yoongi me once, Jimin if you me Yoongi you. He said and Jimin smiled lightly to see him. Jimin, you really be her Yoongi, yeah, and also in future, he said with so much confidence. Jimin, I don't agree yet, Yoongi, you don't. I said no also. He said, and Jimin say Emil come and give the mobile to Jimin. Yoongi, hmm, Yoongi, I bring gifts for you. You sit here. I come with your gifts. He said and go out. From the living room, Jimin eyes widened to see Yoongi come with so much gift boxes and also chocolates, candies, and many more. Emil, this is all for me. Yoongi, yes, for you. Emil start to jumping in happiness. Jimin see her and Yoongi both are the gifts. After a long time, Jimin feel happiness. Jimin don't said anything. Emil is really getting the she, and Jimin also get he think the whole. Yoongi and Emil play with toys, and after dinner, Emil fell in sleep. Yoongi, sorry if I be of all this, Jimin. You know what you are doing, Yoongi. Yoongi, let's go. Jimin, where? Yoongi on the walk. Jimin, Emil is sleeping. Yoongi, that's why I am saying let's go on the walk. She said, and Jimin, who don't said anything and start to walk with him. Huh? Seriously. All right. They both are walking silently. Yoongi thought to speak. Yoongi Jimin, I don't know when you think what you think about me after knowing this, but before starting anew with you, I want to tell you something. He said and stopped. Jimin don't know why he feel to be again. Jimin, what Yoongi Jimin? I don't see you in university. Not even I am a student. Jimin means Yoongi-san. Yoongi, I see you 5 years ago at Jungkook and Taeyang house. I am Jungkook's best friend and I see you, Emil. Jungkook tell me everything about you and Emil, but I said him don't tell you about me. I for you on the day I see you. But Taeyang said you don't for now. I wait for you and after 5 years you joined the university, Tiang told me, and I also got admission as a student. I am a businessman, CEO of a man, he said, and Jimin is so shocked. Jimin, I know everything about you and Emil, but I want to know, from you. I want to stay to you and I do. And now when finally after 5 years I am on the you are 80% ready to me, I thought I'd tell you the guy on the phone who called you and from the is me who texts you. He said and Jimin heard everything that started to fall. Yoongi look at Jimin. Yoongi, I am all elder than you. I am a businessman. I think it's the best time I tell you everything, Jimin. How much I also to be the as you today I ask. He bent down in front of him. Hmm. Yoongi Park Jimin, will you be Min Jimin? Will you my hand for forever? Will you spend your with me and be the Emil? He said, and Jimin chuckled. Yoongi, it's cold on the tell me fast. Jimin nodded and held his hand. Jimin, I do. Yoongi, okay, wait, what? You accept me? Jimin nodded. He chuckled to see Yoongi happiness. Jimin is smiling after 5 years. Yoongi, I am so happy. I am so happy. I don't know what I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. He said, and Jimin smiled and Jim, Yoongi, thank you so much. So much for this, Jimin. I will make sure to your aunt Emil life with happiness. Just me, you, and now there is only happiness. Okay, Jimin back and nodded his eyes slightly, and Yoongi sighed as no, Yoongi, no, don't, he said, and Jimin smiled. Sometimes time pass, like 2 months. 2 months pass. Everything is fine. Today, Jimin and Emil in Yoongi house. As Yoongi the university, he again joined his office. He said like this, he can't give them proper time, and it's good if they stay here. Mrs. Min can take care of them. Yoongi, Emil, and her Emil talk with Mrs. Min on phone so many times. She is with her. Mrs. Min come. Emil, Yoongi leave her. She go and Mrs. Min whole smile. Mrs. Min, oh my, come, Emil. Yes, now I, now I stay here. She said, being happy. Jimin, go. I placed chocolate for you there on the table. He said, tell Emma run in the living room. Looking down, she went toward Jimin with a smile. Jimin looked up and passed her a smile and her up to here. Hmm. And her Mrs. Min, you are so beautiful, my son. Now I understand why my Yoongi is so. She said, and Jimin chuckled and her Mrs. Min, welcome in your home, son. Jimin, thank you, auntie. Mrs. Min, no. call me mom. Jimin eyes slightly to remind about his mom. He smiled and nodded. Mrs. Min, come sit. They all sit in the living room. Mrs. Min, you both spend so much time in. Now I want you both spend your life happily. I think right, ma. I am thinking, why don't you both Yoongi look at Jimin. Yoongi, if Jimin is agree, Jimin, I am ready. Yoongi, that's good. So now first we talk with Jimin parents. Then we do your Jimin my parents, he asked. Mrs. Park, yes son. See, sometimes parents do but they realize so. They do the we tell them the reality and they understand. You, I promise, Jimin nodded. Mrs. Min, I give you advice. You and Jungi go today to meet them and you tell them everything. They listen you now. And Jimin looking down. Jungi sits Jungi go and sit beside him. He holds his hand. Jungi, I am with you. Mom is right. We need to Jimin, but Jungi, nothing happens. I know. They listen you listen you wait a minute. At last okay, and your at last they are your parents, he said. Then Jimin see him for some time and then nodded. Mrs. Min, Emil here with me, you go and talk with them. Third last scene. Soon they reach Soon they reach Park Mansion. Jimin reach the mansion. He see and he recall everything, his every memory. Jimin see Yoongi, who nodded and like nothing happens. They go inside the mansion and Jimin come in the living room. He stopped to see his parents and sit there. He can see his mom is in her thoughts. She looking so anxious. That is not like this. Usually he is so silent. Jimin say them while start to from his eyes. Jungi take his step back as he know Jimin have to this. Jimin mom, he whispered. Mrs. Park look up. Mrs. Park, Jimin, my son. She said Jimin and run toward him. She don't waste time. Jimin mom, Mrs. Park, my, where were you? I missed you so much. Why don't you come to meet me? Why you your mom? Jimin is and she look and she on his whole face. Mrs. Park, my, she is and Jimin sign as no Jimin, no mom, don't. Mrs. Park, you are okay, right? Jimin nodded with a small smile. He see his dad who's looking down. Jimin looked at his mom who nodded. Jimin go and sit in front of his dad. Jimin, dad, listen me. He whisper and he Mr. Park him Mrs. Park Mr. Park me my son. Jimin sign as no and see him with a small smile on her face. Mr. Park, I am the Jimin. No, I don't tell you us everything, me son. He his hand and Jimin hold his hand and sign as no. Jimin, no, dad, it's okay. We also do. It's okay, Mr. Park. I got the off my Jimin means Mr. Park. Your dad had a next day you leave and he sat down. Jimin see his dad. Jimin, you are kidding with me, right? Mr. Park, I do with you, so of course this have to happens with me. Jimin nodded. He sat down his father. Mr. Park, I learned to like this. Jimin talked with them and then they three smiled. Jimin turned and see Yoongi. Jimin dad, he is Yoongi and he explained everything. Mr. Park, thank you so much. Hmm. All right. Hmm. For son, for bringing happiness in my son life. Yoongi, no, uncle, don't say this. We just need your and spot. Second last scene. Soon everything become alright. The day everyone come. Hmm. So it's finished, Sean's. Okay, so 8 minutes last scene. Become the day come everyone is waiting for. Yoongi and Jimin is going to Yoongi stand on the and Jimin stand in front of him. Emil is and talking and laughing. Park Jimin, did you accept Min Yoongi? Jimin, I do. And Min Yoongi, did you accept Park Jimin? Yoongi, I do. You both. He said and Yoongi see him. He went toward him and Jimin looking down on his forehead. Yoongi, I win. My professor, he said, Mr. Professor, he said, and Jimin chuckled. Everyone starts clapping and congratulating them. Okay, and Yoongi, last scene finally. It's night. Emil sleep with. Jimin is waiting for Yoongi. Jimin is walking back and forth. He saw how he react on the every spent with him. He is thinking all this when Yoongi enter in the room. Jimin see him. He smiled. His cheeks turn as it's all so new for Jimin. He don't know what he do. Jimin, Yoongi see Jimin. He smiled to see him. To see. Both are silent, don't know what they talk about. Yoongi, you okay? You want something? Jimin sign as no. With a small smile, Yoongi saw you like the room. Jimin, huh? Room, yeah, it's so beautiful. Yoongi, I am glad you want to do any change. This is your okay. Is your and how's Jimin? Thank you so much, Yoongi, for everything you gave me. Yoongi, and what about the whole you give me? Huh? A beautiful gift you give me. And Jimin, it's you who's so kind to her. Otherwise, who do? Yoongi, here I maybe son, but no one do. As if someone else do, I don't stand here in front of you. Jimin smiled to see him. Yoongi, sometimes it's good to be. Jimin, I can listen you in this. Yoongi, yeah, why you stand up? Come and sit. Both sit on the and Yoongi don't know what he said. He just don't want to feel. Yoongi, Jimin, it's so new for you. I know. Uh, I know you need time, and I give you. I don't you take your time, okay? He said. Then Jimin look up and see him. Jimin, and why? I said him, don't me. Yoongi saw you fresh up and sleep. Jimin in mind. What about my? How can he like this? No, I have to do something. He think as Yoongi go for Jimin pick his phone and call his best friend, and only he can help him now. Taeyang, wow, bro, why you call me Jimin? Taeyang, there is a Taeyang, don't such a don't of Jimin and listen me. He said and tell him everything what Yoongi said. Taeyang, why he's so Jimin, why he's okay? So both best friends is same. Hmm. Understand? I Taeyang, then simple. He said and Jimin think. For sometimes Jimin you place in my bag. Taeyang, yes, best friend. Taeyang, thanks, brother. He said and cut the call. Jimin say the cup of coffee. So he have a habit to drink coffee. Jimin do as Taeyang said and Jungi come out. He see he see Jimin. Jungi, you go, and Jimin nodded to go. Jungi take the Jungi, why it's today he think Angie Yoongi, but for sometimes it start to he don't know why as the okay, so I don't do on this ones also. I don't do on next. Uh, 15, next 3 seconds text. Last scene and the third last text. And I am sure I don't do. Uh, he is walking back and forth when the door opened. Yoongi see Jimin come out. Jimin, I forget. He said innocently. Yoongi nodded, and Jimin see him. He is filled with the and Jimin, what happens? Yoongi, he said, and he went toward him. Yoongi, Jimin, don't. He said, and Jimin stopped in front of him. Jimin, he said, and Yoongi is it's so shocked. Yoongi, Jimin, go and Jimin see him and smile. Jimin, if this is what he said, and Yoongi become more shocked. Okay, so Yoongi is just shocked. Nothing happens. Hmm. Well, it's finished soon. Finally. Last scene and the second last text. And I don't do the voiceover on this one. Also, you all read this by yourself. I would like to count the notifications here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay, so 36 notifications. It's more than the yesterday one. So notification तो इतने ही होते हैं. Alright, I think I write too much, but no, I don't. Wow. So last scene and the last scene and the last text. Finally, it's last now. Huh. Okay, so the story is changed from everything. Hope so you all like. If you like, then subscribe and tell me in comments. Bye bye. Take care of yourself. Sarange. See you all in the next video soon. And here what I do when I have so much voiceover to do. Okay. And what I do here. Oh, fine, it's going to finish. Hope so you all like. If you like, then subscribe and tell me in comments. Bye bye. Take care of yourself, Sangi. See you soon in the next video and with the new story. Bye. Take care of yourself. Bye bye. Finally finish.